Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to run HTML files using Visual Studio Code. So I will show you how to use 3 different extensions. The first one is called Open in Browser, the second one is called Code Runner, and the last one is called Live Server. So first of all, let's create an HTML file. So let's go to File, then Open Folder, and here I will create a new folder on the desktop that I will call Web. Let's select this folder and let's click on Select Folder. Now here I will just create a new HTML file, so let's click on this button and I will call it welcome.html. Now let's hit enter and the file has been created. So here let's close this welcome page. And here let's type exclamation mark. Now let's hit enter, and using the code completion we will obtain this source code. So let's modify the title. Also let's add some text in the body. And now let's save this file. So to save it I can click on Ctrl+S, or I can go to File, then Save. Now let's install the first extension, which is called Open in Browser. So let's click on this extension button and here let's type Open in Browser. So let's click on this first extension. So this is the extension that we need to install. This is the developer and this is the number of times this extension has been installed. Now to install it we have just to click on this button. Now it has been installed correctly, so let's close this page and let's hide the extensions. We can also show the Explorer. So here we can make right click and now we will have these 2 additional options, either open in default browser or open in other browsers. So if we click on open in other browsers, we will have a list of the available browsers that we can use. But if we make a right click, then open in default browser, the default browser will be used. In my case, it is Firefox. So let's increase a little bit the font size. Now it is also possible to make a right click on the file itself, then we will have these 2 options. So if I click on open in default browser, a new tab will be opened. So this is the first one and this is the second one. Now if I make some modifications here, for example, if I add a title, then if I save the file, the modification will not appear in the browser, so I need to refresh the browser. And as you can see, the modification is now visible. So as you can see, the limitation of this extension is that it does not show the modifications in real time. You need to refresh this page in order to see the modifications. So if you like this extension, you can use it. If you don't like it, you can click on this extensions button and here you need to type the name of the extension, then to click on the extension name, and here you can remove it. So let's remove it. And of course we need to reload Visual Studio Code. So let's click on this button. Now the extension is removed correctly. So now let's try the second extension, which is called Code Runner. So let's go to extensions, then let's type Code Runner. Then we have to click on this first extension. So this is the developer, this is the number of times this extension has been installed, and to install it we have just to click on this install button. Now the extension is installed correctly, so let's close this page. And let's hide the extension section. We can also show the Explorer. And now to run this file, I have just to click on this run button that has been added. It is also possible to make right click and to click on run code. So let's click on run code. But here we obtain this error. This is because Code Runner is not configured to run HTML files. But we can configure it. So let's go to File, then Preferences, then Settings, and here let's click on this button. So here we obtain the source code of the settings file, we need just to add a new parameter. So let's type code runner execute map. Now let's select the first result and let's hit enter. And as you can see, this is the script that allows code runner to execute the different languages. So here we don't have HTML, so we need to add HTML. We can do this at the beginning. So at the beginning I will add a line similar to this one. So let's copy this first line and let's paste it here. So for the language it will be HTML. And for the command it will be start and the name of the navigator. In my case I am using Firefox, so I will type Firefox. Now let's save this file and let's close it. We can also close this settings page, and here we can click on this button, or also we can make right click then run code. And this time the file has been displayed in the browser, as you can see. So let's close the previous tabs. And here let's make some modifications. So for example, let's modify the title. And if I save this file, the modification will not appear in the browser. So I need to make a refresh. Also, if I decide to execute this file again, so for example, let's make some modification. Let's add 2 here. Let's save the file. If I execute this file again using this button, I will obtain a new tab that displays the modification. So the previous tab does not show the modification. I need to refresh the page. So as you can see, Code Runner has the same limitation as OpenN browser. This is because Code Runner does not update the browser in real time. So if you like it, you can use it. If you don't like it, you can remove it. So let's go to extensions. We have to type Code Runner. We have to click on Code Runner and then let's remove it. Now we need to reload Visual Studio Code. And now Code Runner is removed from Visual Studio Code. Now let's install and test the third extension, which is called Live Server. So in my point of view, this is the best extension. So to install it, we have to go to extension. Then here we have to type Live Server. So we have to select this first result. So this is the name of the developer, and this is the number of times this extension has been downloaded and installed. And to install it, we have just to click on this install button. Now the extension is installed correctly, so let's close this page. And also we can hide the extensions. Now let's show the Explorer. So Live Server is a server that will serve your HTML file, and it will update the browser when you make any modification in the HTML file. Here we can see this label which indicates the status of the live server. For the moment the server is down, and to use it we have just to make right click here, then open with Live Server. So let's click on this. Now the server is running, and this is the obtained result in the browser. Now if I make any modification here, for example, let's modify this title. Now when I save this modification, it will appear automatically in the browser. So let's do this. And as you can see, this is the modification in real time. We can also remove this value and let's save it again. And as you can see, this is the modification. So here, as you can see, Live Server is using the port number 5500, and you can see the port number here, or also you can see it here. Now if you want to stop the server, you have just to make right click, then you have to click on Stop Live Server. Now if you make any modification in the file, for example, let's add 2 here. If I save this file, the modification will not appear in the browser. This is because the server is down. So the advantage of Live Server is that the modification that you did in the HTML file will appear in real time in the browser. So if you like Live Server, you can use it. If you don't like it, you can remove it. To remove Live Server, we have to go to this extension button to type Live Server, to click on this extension and then to uninstall it. Now we need to reload Visual Studio Code, and now the extension is removed. Finally, thank you very much for watching and please subscribe to the channel.